2 a.m.
Live on
Happy hour every day, 4 p.m. to 7
YouTube.
p.m. Check the lineup. Monday, $2 crabs. Tuesday, Tipsy Tuesdays, $2 rail shot, $5 top shelf shot. Wednesday, where you could be a star. Get your single with karaoke and $2 crabs. Thursday,
Might need 2 tickets for Friday. I mean for Sunday. What time is it again? 8? 7.
Friday, DJ Rock Night will be banging the box with the grown and sexy. Then Saturday, DJ Dookie West gives you the weekend turn up. Sunday, you can wind down, watch the game, and enjoy your favorite drink, all at Truth Lounge 10. Food and hookah are on the premises, bottle service is available, and guess what? Free birthday parties and more. For more info, give Ty a call, 443-668-1520, 443-668-1520, or you can find them on your social media platforms. Truth Lounge 2 on IG and
What the heck?
See,
Showtime.
There.
Facebook just crashed on me.
The all-new WMEG Radio.
The Nightlifer, the Night Circle of Sanity, radio show.
What you got?
This is State of Emergency.
The Nightlifer, the Night Circle of Sanity, radio show. The Nightlifer, the Night Circle of Sanity, radio.
What you got now, mama? Show me what you got, pretty lady. Show me what you got, shawty. Show me what you got, baby. Pick up this way.
Bless you.
The Nightlifer, the Night Circle of Sanity, radio.
Bless you.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Nightlifer, the Night Circle of Sanity, radio show.
Hey. What is going on? Listen, let me just say this up front. I want to thank everybody who was in this. Whoa. We good?
Mm-hmm.
It's my melodious voice is messing up mics. Let me first start off by thanking everyone that listened to the show and was the forum, the group, the participants in my forum last week when we talked about the youth today, this next generation, and are we doing them a service or disservice by our actions as the leading generation and the generations in front of us. But with all that being said, welcome, Nightlifer Circle of Sanity, July 31st, 2024. Once again, even though I'm just me on the desk by myself tonight, as normal, the man with the plan and the man whips it up behind the control board is the incomparable DJ Rock Nice.
Wiki.
Give yourself a hand of applause, my man. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. There are times I think you know what you're doing, which it's impressive because I clearly don't know what the hell I'm doing when I'm doing this show. So I'm impressed that you got all the buttons and knobs that are not labeled, and it be working. Just in case anyone wants to call in, the phone number is, as always, 443-267-6558. That's only 10 digits. I'm not going to mention any names or anybody who was in the studio last week, like Troy King Brody, who sometimes gives out 11 and 12 numbers for his call-in guests. The number is 443-267-6558. Tonight, oh, let me not forget, hopefully at some point tonight, My occasional co-host, Kamal Larsuel, will call in tonight to give her perspective on the things we're going to talk about tonight. And one of the things that if you listen to the promo, watch the promo video, read the promo write-up, we're going to talk about some things tonight, including, which we didn't get to talk about too much last week, Kamala Harris being given the reins for the Democrats for 2024 for the election as Joe Biden has stepped down. We'll also talk about everybody's favorite orange comedian, Donald John Trump, and his campaign and everything that goes along with that, and the way it is just making America strange again. Weird. That's the new catchphrase for the campaign for 45. His campaign and staff and followers have now been labeled weird, which is a shock, right? Because I didn't think they were ever normal. So they're like that brain that Igor found for Dr. Frankenstein in Dr. Frankenstein, the movie Dr. Frankenstein. Abby something or other, Abby Normal. Also, I think I'm going to start off with Project 2025. This has been an ongoing story of the last 3, maybe 4 weeks now, and we haven't really addressed it yet on the show because so many other things have happened. Someone took a shot at Donald Trump's ear and almost got a bullseye on the ear. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, the war in between Israel and Hamas. It's just been a lot going on, and we really haven't had a chance to dive into Project 2025. So let me start off by giving a little dig into that right now, try to bring some perspective to what's going on. If you are not up on Project 2025, it is the blueprint that the Heritage Foundation is a right-wing political think tank that feels like America is going in the wrong direction, and they're conservative, and they have a whole list, a whole manifesto, a whole 900 plus page manifesto of what they want the Trump administration to implement and do if he should win 2025, the election in 2024, and become the 47th president in 2025. And the list of these agenda items is long and crazy. So we'll go over some of those tonight. But let me first start off by saying we learned yesterday that the main architect for Project 2025 has been forced out. He's been forced out, and the Heritage Foundation has tampered down their enthusiasm for this blueprint for America. They've tampered down their enthusiasm because they, weirdly enough, did not expect the backlash for some of the things they have in their blueprint. So, Rock, I know you and I briefly talked about it a few weeks ago, again, before a lot of what hit the where. You asked me a couple of questions about Project 25, and they sounded so fantastical that you weren't sure they were real, right? I can assure you everything in there is real.
Wow.
Give you an example. They are going to say, if you attend public school you must also submit for military service in the United States once you graduate from high school. I don't know how that's supposed to work with people who have college aspirations and scholarships and grants and are moving in that direction for professional careers as doctors, lawyers, scientists, whatever. Well, probably not. Well, definitely scientists because they don't believe in science. But yeah, that's one of the things in there. They are going to, well, the plan is to completely do away with abortion rights. I mean, it's Roe v. Wade has already been eviscerated by the Trump appointed Supreme Court. And so all kinds of women's health issues will no longer be federally subsidized. And more importantly, if a woman seeks and gets an abortion, she's going to go to jail. If, as I briefly talked about a couple of weeks ago, if you read, watch, own, partake in pornography of any level, you go to jail.
I need bail money.
I'm gonna need a lot of bail money. Matter of fact, I'm gonna need to probably leave the country. Not that I'm into porn, but I, First Amendment rights, right? How about that? I support people's freedom of speech and stuff like that. Artistic creativity, that part. It's amazing that the person who should become president not only participated in obtaining, watching whatever pornography, he had sex with a porn star. So how do we justify that other than, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. Do as I say, not do as I do. I mean, these are the things in there, and it sounds crazy, and it sounds like fantastical, as I said before. Like, it sounds like somebody just made this shit up to troll and put that out on the internet and social media for people to get upset about. But it's real. It's written in the manifesto of Project 2025. You can find it online. You can download it or you can read it yourself. There's just some completely strange, way weird right-wing things out there. A couple of weeks ago, when the producer of the show, the amazing DJ Rock Nice, was unavailable, and we had a guest producer, Nicole. How do you pronounce it? Midget?
I'm not going to partake in that. You're going to hell by yourself.
I'm not going to hell because I'm just it begins with an M, and dwarf. What was that?
I'm not going with you.
Okay, so Nicole has her own show here on WMEG Radio on Saturday mornings. It's a really good show. You should listen in. She has a lot of good things to say. However, she asked about the correlation between Project 2025 and the book and series Handmaid's Tale. If you're not up on Handmaid's Tale, you can find it on Hulu and start watching episodes. It's a supposed fictionalized future, and not far into the future, fictionalized future of America if a radical religious right-wing holy roller Christian faction takes over the United States of America, storms the capital of Washington, D.C., and shoots, kills, and otherwise murders, imprisons elected leaders, and takes over the government. and imposes these draconian and ultra Christian values on America, and actually changed the name of America. And I forgot the name that they used because I was so shocked by the story.
That sounds like what really happened.
And that's what almost really happened January 6th. They stormed the Capitol. The security, the Capitol Police, the Secret Service, the Treasury agents, the people who were there to protect those buildings were able to hold off the crowd for several hours and stop that from happening. But it came within a whisper of actually happening in this country. But in this series and in the book written by Margaret Atwood, America is suffering, actually the world is suffering a crisis where there are a lot of babies that aren't being born, stillbirths, crib deaths. Children are not being born at the same rate. And this group takes over the United States, and married men are allowed to take in young women. They don't have to be single. They definitely don't have to be willing. Take in young women and make them basically household slaves and baby making property. The married men and their wives call these women handmaids, and their sole purpose in the home is to provide birthing capabilities for the couple. The man impregnates the woman. The handmaid, she carries the baby to term. They allow her to stay with the baby for a few months just to make sure it's healthy. And then they ship this young lady out to another family to have children. They brutalize these women. They terrorize these women. If someone does not comply with what they are supposed to do, they maim them, they cripple them, they blind them, cut off hands and things. It is really, really scary. But the bigger picture is this is what happens when the people don't realize the insidious nature of a supposed fringe group, and they gather power and they take power from America and impose the will that they want America to live under. And again, this came very, very close to happening on January 6th, 2021. So we're just over 4 years away from the anniversary of that bull. And you got to stay woke, people. It could happen. And Project 2025 is the blueprint to put a lot of those same type policies in real life onto this country. Again, if you want to call and talk about it, 443-267-6558 is the number. But it is real, and it could have happened here. Freedom of the press, freedom of speech, all of that is looked at as on the table to be wiped out by Project 2025. The people who wrote and crafted Project 2025 are former members of the Trump administration, fringe hangers on of the Trump administration, and Donald Trump. Donald Trump himself is either badly feigning ignorance of Project 2025 or is just so ignorant he doesn't realize what's in there is out there. And he's had numerous rallies where he has said repeatedly he knows nothing about Project 2025. He doesn't know what's in it. He doesn't have anything to do with it, and he's pushed away from it. So you got to call bullshit because one, if he's the leader that some of you all want him to be, if he's as tuned in as you want him to be, you would expect that he would get up on this type of stuff and find out just what's being associated with his name. And if it's not in line with what he wants it to be, he would push away from what's in there with knowledge of why he shouldn't be associated with it. So it's like, Rock, if I were to say to you, I know damn well that you are a Dallas Cowboy fan because I've seen pictures of you in Dallas the stadium. You could sit here and tell me you know nothing about what I'm talking about and you have no reason to support that. But if I show you, I got pictures and your friends say they were with you when you went to Dallas Stadium and they've heard you say things that support that you're a Cowboys fan, don't you think you would try to find out who is saying this and what's the context of what they're saying so you can dispute it in real time? But no. So this is where we are. We have a cult of personality, just like Jim Jones and the people in Guyana back in the 70s, if anyone's old enough to remember that, like I do. I was in high school. And they'll believe and do anything this man says. And we all laughed at that back in 2016 when he said, hey, I could shoot somebody in the face on Fifth Avenue and get away with it because my supporters wouldn't allow me to go to jail and they would still support me. And we laughed. But that shit is real. You see it every day. You can talk on social media or in person to some of your friends or associates who, hey, they support Donald Trump. And you can watch videos of their rallies and him and his rallies and hear these people who go to his rallies say, I don't care what he's ever done. He's getting my vote. It doesn't matter. I saw an interview 3 days ago. Yeah, 3 days ago, where they were interviewing a person in line to get into his rally. And the interviewer said to this gentleman, you're a law and order kind of guy, right? And he said, yes, I believe in law and order. And the Biden should go to jail for whatever it was that they were doing. And the interviewer asked him to be specific. He said, with the money and the thing with the money and how the money and it was illegal and he should go to jail. And the interviewer pulled back and said, well, what you mean, like the money laundering? Yeah, that part. And the owing $385 million because of fraud. Yeah, that. And paying to keep people quiet about things he did in the past. Yeah. And the interviewer said, and what about the 34 convictions? He said, yeah, all that, he should be in jail. He said, wait a minute, what 34 convictions? He said, well, you're a law and order guy, right? He said, yes. He said, well, Donald Trump has 34 convictions. Everything I brought out has to do with Donald Trump. And the man just got a befuddled look on his face and said, I don't know anything about that. He's my candidate. He's going to save this country. So then you got this back and forth. Well, I thought you were a law and order guy. I thought you were saying that people who break the law need to go to jail regardless. And you're all up on the Bidens for supposedly some association with Joe Biden and his son Hunter, right? But these same things, when you find out that Donald Trump is guilty of them, you're okay with. And the mindset of these people was, well, I don't care. He's still my candidate. He's still my man. What kind of craziness is that other than a cult? And if you're not careful and you take this election for granted and you either don't come out to vote or you vote for the Republicans and Donald Trump, if you do those things, you could be living in a society where your access to the internet, your access to radio, television, all of that is controlled by this small group of people who are telling you what you should do and how you should think and what you should and should not do. Outside of the rules of law, you think you're going to be okay because it's not going to affect you, but it will affect you. So I have very little tolerance for people who refuse to vote. So Project 2025 is now teetering, right? They're trying to make it disappear, go away, come off the headlines, come out of the public consciousness, so that after the election they can bring it back up. And once they bring it back up and they put it out there, then where are you going to stand? Then what's going to happen to you? Then you'll be in your driveway thinking you're about to turn on the radio and listen to, I don't know, hip hop music. And next thing you know, you're going to be locked up by this Gestapo type police force that they've envisioned, and they'll take you to jail for just listening to what you want to listen to on the radio, or prevent you from listening to what you want to listen to on the radio. The only way this can be stopped is for you to vote in November and vote your conscience and to save the country. And the scary thing about using your vote, I've heard, and there was a young lady here in the studio last week who had some very sincere points about why she doesn't think her vote matters, or friends say the vote doesn't matter, but they don't. You're not looking at the bigger picture. The shaping of the Supreme Court for the next 30, 40 years is what's at stake. Rock, just let me know I have a caller. Caller, who are you and welcome? Are they there? Mm-hmm. Hello? Don't be shy. You use the dial machine to call in. They there? Did you? I think the caller's calling from space.
Yeah, I hung up on him.
Okay. Maybe they'll call back in and figure out how to use their phone. If not, try again. But so be careful, be mindful that Project 2025 is out there as a real and honest threat to the real freedom that you have, not the perception of freedom that the right claims they don't have anymore. Real freedoms. Freedom to love who you want, to love how you want, to marry who you want, to partake in recreational activities the way you want. Roll back the progress that's been made on cannabis, roll back rights for women to vote. And let me talk about that real quick. Trump's vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance, is a strange strange, scarily strange man. He believes, and this is real. This is real. I'm not making this up. This is not hyperbole. This is not bullshit. This is not off the top of my head. This is real. This is documented. This is you can read what he wrote and you can see him say it, so he can't pull back on it, and he doesn't appear to be pulling back on it at all. He believes that women who don't have children do not deserve the right to vote. Or, barring that, people with children, women, men who have children, have families, married couples, should have the right to have their vote count more. So that whole premise of one person, one vote gets thrown out if you have children. Your vote may count 3 times, whereas someone who has no children can vote only would count as 1. And I saw a very good, extremely good message on Facebook yesterday that said, let's be clear. The only 2 reasons a woman doesn't have children is if she can't or she doesn't want to. Yet, those women are not considered full citizens if JD Vance and Project 2025 get their way. It should scare the living you know what out of you know where, because it does me. Now, bleeding that into where we are today in the election, the right, the people on the right, who are the people in the wrong, in my opinion, believe with all their hearts, like this, they're sincere. They believe that Kamala Harris should not be the Democratic nominee. And they are posting and they're articulating and pontificating about this with extreme prejudice, because they're saying she has been made the nominee and the people didn't have a vote in that matter. All of a sudden, votes matter to them, right? But the real thing that really is bugging them is they can't now pick on Joe Biden. They railed against Joe Biden since Donald Trump announced his reelection campaign, which was basically the day after he admitted that he was no longer president. Not that he lost the election, but he had just admitted that he was no longer president. Joe's too old. Joe's this, Joe's that. They need to get rid of Joe. They don't want Joe. Joe shouldn't be president. Okay, so Joe Biden has bowed out. I don't think he bent to the pressure of the right. I think he bent to the pressure of his own party, but he's bowed out. And when he bowed out, he endorsed Kamala Harris. The Democrats immediately started embracing her. Some right away, some in stages, some at their own pace. There have been video rallies. Black men in America did a video rally sponsored by Roland Martin's group, did a video rally and raised over $80 million for her campaign. Prominent Democrats in the party, long-standing Democrats in the party, from Nancy Pelosi to Chuck Schumer to Barack Obama to Representative Clyburn, all these people are endorsing Kamala. People who were donators to Biden's campaign are now super enthusiastic about Kamala's uh, candidacy and are giving more money. People putting in money. There was a group of white men that call themselves White Men for Kamala. They raised $4 million for Kamala on a video uh, conference for her. Enthusiasm for her is off the chain, more so than I thought would happen. I really didn't initially think that was a good move, but I've changed my thinking. I've evolved my thinking because now I see how excited people are for her to run against Donald Trump. But now the Trump campaign train of strange is upset. Oh, Kamala can't be, she shouldn't be, they can't allow her to be. And make no mistake, it's because they're scared. They're scared shitless that this woman is gaining momentum and she's time enough for Donald Trump. So much so that he has found every excuse in the book now to avoid debating her. She's called for debates with him back and forth. She was ready to debate J.D. Vance before Joe Biden stepped down. She's ready. Now, I'll be honest with you. Rock. I thought she would have a bigger voice in the Biden administration, but you know me, I'm a history guy. So my history goes back to before George W. Bush became president and made Dick Cheney the most powerful vice president in the history of America. VPs really didn't do anything. They were photo ops. They're more prominent on the campaign trail than they were actually serving in administration. But, you know, Dick Cheney came in and immediately started holding meetings with business leaders, started crafting the war in Iraq. He had his former company, Halliburton, get lots of no bid contracts with the government to send contractors and equipment and get paid to finance the war. He set up meetings with the petroleum industry. It was overt and it was out there, and I don't know if it was constitutional or not, but that's when vice presidents really started having a lot to say about inside of the administration of a presidency. So if we roll back and look at it, that was the George W. Bush administration. After Bush, we had Barack Obama, and his VP was Joe Biden. And Joe Biden was chosen by Barack Obama to quiet fears of some people who weren't ready for a black man to run for president or become president. But Joe had the experience. He had the armed services committees and the foreign services committees and the internationally recognized heft to be the vice president to help mentor Barack Obama and made it more palatable for those who didn't want a black man to be president, who were Democrats, to pull the lever for Barack Obama. And Joe had a voice. Joe had a really strong voice within the administration. So the trend, in my opinion, should have been for Kamala to have more of a voice, but she didn't. But it's okay, because you can say two VPs ahead of her had a lot to do in the previous administrations. Out of 45 previous presidents, only two had strong VPs. Everybody else had far less visibility than Kamala Harris. Now, I go back, the first president I remember is Lyndon Johnson. Remember Lyndon Johnson? I was a baby when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. I know people on that are listening and watching remember the assassination. I see my Aunt Zelda is watching and listening. She and her sister, they remember Kennedy as president. They also remember uh, LBJ becoming president. So I remember LBJ. But if you go back further, if you go back to Franklin Delano Roosevelt's presidency, he had 3 VPs. He didn't deal with any of them. I mean, the whole election process was different then, but he didn't deal with any of them. So much so that after the election, Harry Truman, who was FDR's final vice president, had only met with the man one time post-election. And it was a sit-down, tea and crumpets type deal. And by all accounts, FDR was dismissive of Harry Truman, didn't embrace him on any level, professionally or politically, and he was just there. So much so that when Roosevelt died in office and Harry Truman became president, he had no idea what was going on in the administration. He didn't even know about the development of the atomic bomb. So now we fast forward to where we are today, and we've got Kamala Harris not having as much power as people claim she should have had, wanted her to have, but she's sitting in the seat right now. She's in the driver's seat, and everybody recognizes the fact that she is more qualified, more ready to be president than Donald Trump, who has been president. And it's funny to me, and by funny, I don't mean comically funny. It's funny to me that some of the people on the right are saying she doesn't have the experience. When they went out of their way to elect a guy, to vote for a guy who had zero experience in government to be their president. Remember distinctly people saying, well, I don't want him to be a politician. He's a businessman, which is a lie. He's a businessman. He's a successful businessman. And we don't want him to be a politician. So, but now Kamala is not qualified for them. So before I get into the big thing that's up under my skin for this week, I got to talk about something that I think is just flat out hilarious and comical, funny, comical. Rock, did you hear all the big news last week about Donald Trump telling Christians at a convention that if he's elected, if they vote for him in 2024 and he's elected, Christians will never have to vote again?
I didn't hear that, but I'm sure you're going to enlighten me.
Dude, it set everything on fire because his campaign had to quickly go into spin mode. Oh, what he said isn't what he meant. What he meant was, they did that whole thing. But he said what he said. And he said, when he said it, don't worry, I'll fix it. Christians, I love you. I'll fix it that if you vote for me in 2024, you'll never have to vote again. Now, I'm a Christian. I'm a real Christian. I'm a backsliding Christian, but I'm a Christian. I believe in helping people up who aren't on the level I'm on. I believe in helping the fellow man. I believe the same principles that Jesus had of feeding the hungry, clothing those who have no clothes, and giving shelter to those who have no place to live. I'm not a Republican Christian that says the United States is a Christian nation, even though it was founded on the principles of separation of church and state, and all other religions would be illegal, which also is in Project 2025. No other religion except Christianity would be accepted in America. No Jews, no Muslims, no Hindu, no Buddhist, only Christians. Every other religion would be illegal. And then you're going to start splitting hairs. What's the difference between a Methodist and a Baptist? Both Christians, but so to piggyback on him saying that, and I have to go to the device here. I had to reboot my phone, and I apologize for it. It really bothers me that I had to do that. But let me find some. I got to play this for you, Rock. This is crazy. To piggyback on Trump saying that part out loud, the day before he said that, he said something even more bizarre. So I'm going to go back to the 2020 election where he told his supporters to not early vote, to not mail in vote, to wait till the election day to go down and vote, which already put him behind the eight ball, which already set up the drummed up controversy that his people created when they said, you know, we shouldn't count absentee ballots. We should not use votes that came in prior to election day. So that created all kinds of issues and situations, right? Because then you have votes that had to be counted after election day, and in places he thought he had a lead, that lead disappeared when those votes started being counted. But that was his own doing because he told his people not to come out and vote. So you take that in consideration, and I'm going to get to this. This is just, to me, this is just hilarious.
Hi, everyone. Mark Barden here.
Sorry, let me turn this down real quick. Get past that, and he comes out and says on Thursday, he said that on Friday, and on Thursday, he said this. Hold on.
So many votes.
Here we go. Let me play this back.
And when you look, not that they're not going to have to vote again, but that they don't have to vote this time. That they don't need to vote for him.
That was what he was talking about for Thursday. I mean, it said on Friday.
My instruction, we don't need the votes. I have so many votes.
So on Thursday, he tells people on Fox and Friends and calls in that he doesn't need people to vote for him because he has enough votes already to win. How does that make any sense? Like, he has been railing since the 2016 election that the fix is in against him. And because Hillary ran a really bad campaign and lost the electoral vote, but won the popular vote, he wasn't going to accept the results of that election unless he won. So he won. Then 2020 comes around. He loses the electoral college, and by far he loses the popular vote. And he's screaming again, the election is fixed. It's fixed. And then he comes on television on a show that is friendly to him and says, I don't need people to vote for me. I have enough votes already. People don't have to come out. I'm good. What in the hell? And his supporters were saying Joe Biden was addled. His supporters were saying he was too old. You got a man who's running for office, the highest office in the land, telling people, don't vote for me. I have enough votes. So because a lot of his followers are not what you would call smart, they're going to hear this and say, I don't need to vote for Trump because he's going to win without my vote. And they're going to stay home on election day because we know they're not going to mail in early. They're not going to absentee vote. They're going to say, he don't need my vote. And then when he loses, because he is going to lose, when he loses, then the narrative is going to be they stole the election. But their dumbasses are not going to vote. So what is that? And it's just incredible. It's just incredible. If you want to call in and talk about this, 443-267-6558. If you don't, I understand. But the logic behind that is just beyond me. Just beyond me. Because it's totally illogical. It makes absolutely no sense. It's just stupid. How do you think you're going to win if you're calling for a fair election and you're telling people, if you vote for me in 2024, you don't have to ever vote again. I'll fix it. But I don't even need you to vote because I have enough votes already. He clearly doesn't understand how a true democracy works. He doesn't understand how reality works, or maybe we don't understand and the fix really is in. I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but maybe that's what is really going on. He's got people in place that the fix is already in for him. Surprising to me. Now, I was trying to wait on this next block, hoping that Kamal will be able to call in by now. And I can only hope that she's coming soon. But I got to bring this up. This is the thing. This is what's irking me right now. This is the pebble in my shoe. This is the itch that I can't scratch. This is the thing that just burns me up, and I'm going to use a lot of adult words right now. So if you're easily offended by adult grown-up language, I apologize, but I can't bite my tongue. I just heard from Kamal. She'll be in soon, so I'll let her join in on this, but I'm going to rant for a few seconds. We understand that a lot of African-American voters are enthusiastic about Harris running for president. We understand that a lot of voters who are female are excited about a Harris campaign. Uh-oh. We're there? Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh my God. The show has been saved. Kamala Harris is on the phone, everybody. Let me get a big hand
Queen has arrived.
Let me have a big hand for Kamala Harris.
I'm giving you the Queen wave. The Queen wave.
The Queen wave. The
Yo.
Queen.
Yo. Look, I got one thing to say. If you got something to say it to my face.
Right? Did she not put that out there?
Say it with your chest.
With your chest out. Let me come to me. You want this smoke?
Goes down.
You want this smoke?
Down. She let me know.
She about about it. She about it. If you ain't about it, don't say it. So in reality, it's not.
She was like, you don't want none of this smoke. You don't want none of this smoke, Donald.
She should have called him Dental, the way he's been butchering her name on purpose.
Did you see the NABJ interview today with him?
I have not. I have to look that up because I have been to NABJ conferences. I have met a lot of leadership in the NABJ. For those who don't know, NABJ is the National Association of Black Journalists. I attended the conference in New Orleans in 2017. I learned a lot. I made a lot of good connections. These are very intelligent, well-informed, plugged-in journalists in America. Kamal, I don't know if that was you passing gas or not, but I'm just going to not bring it up to that's with you. It happened. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix this cord for her.
Okay, hold on a second, Kamal. I can hear you talking, but we can't hear you on the mic. So hold on a second. There you go. You're back. Kamal, you there?
I've been talking.
Yeah, we've been ignoring you. So let me be real clear. Because of some government things that Kamal, and this is really not Kamala Harris, it's Kamal Larsuel. Because of the witness protection program she's in, we can't disclose her location, but I believe she's hanging out with Dick Cheney. Remember every time Dick Cheney had a heart attack, they put him in some undisclosed location?
But you just disclosed my name, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jane Smith is in an undisclosed location with Dick Cheney. I just hope you're not hunting with him.
You need to edit that out in post.
We'll fix it. Trust me, we'll fix it. All we need you to do.
I'm not falling under Dick Cheney.
What we need you to do is go to the Vatican and pretend that you have resigned your post and just hang out and live in the Vatican with other men wearing robes and pinky rings.
Well, they're gonna find me anyway since you done told my government. Thank you.
Sorry about that, Chief. But you were saying, and we couldn't hear you, so I yield the mic back to you.
I don't remember the brilliance I spit, but it had to do with Donald Trump being out of pocket and how rude he was and how petty he was to the NABJ journalists. They had technical difficulties, and so it started late. And she asked him some hard questions that needed to be asked and answered. And he didn't like how she asked them, didn't like the questions, and throughout the entire interview process, he couldn't miss a second to say, well, I really can't hear because your audio equipment is old and crappy. Thank you for asking me that question because she was rude. He is so petty, and I just spend most of my time looking at the TV saying, why don't you sit your little monkey ass down somewhere? I can't stand that man. I cannot stand that man. And he doubled down on Black jobs and how he's the best president for the blacks.
For the blacks.
Since Lincoln. And he's done more for the blacks with the opportunity zones. And we know that the opportunity zones were absolute crap.
Yes.
They helped no one. They didn't even implement them. It was all talk.
And he had a Republican Congress and a Republican House. I mean, a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate, and he couldn't get these so-called important initiatives enacted. So,
and he gave all this money to the HBCUs because they were all broken in bankruptcy. You know,
last I checked,
they tried to call him on some of that stuff, but he overtalks and you can't get a word in edgewise. But they tried. I heard one clap once. He got a lot of ooh,
So look,
I don't think so.
Last I checked, and I haven't checked in a while, so I could be wrong, but last I checked, schools like Hampton are doing really okay without government money. I mean, the government money is nice, but endowments from alumni are really doing well for school. And not all HBCUs, but schools like Hampton. I think Howard has a strong alumni board. I believe Morgan's alumni board is coming up. Spelman's coming up.
Yeah, Spelman. I mean, their dorms are still trash, which is why my daughter does not live in a dorm over there. But they just built a whole. Sam Jackson, Latoya Jackson, Tiny Jackson just gave them a big endowment for. They built a whole new art center over there. Brand spanking new.
Time out.
They just got an endowment to build a whole new science wing. So someone's doing okay. I just want them to get an endowment to build them trash ass doors.
Time out. Did you say Latoya Jackson?
I did. I said Latoya Jackson and I said LaTanya Jackson.
You don't mean the Latoya that is related to the Michael and Janet Jackson.
Which is why I corrected myself with LaTanya.
Okay. Because I think Latoya Jackson.
Pay attention.
I think Latoya Jackson still owes me $1.58. Because she
owed me 78.
She needed to get a sandwich after her.
Because she told me, I asked her for that money back, and she told me she was going to drop me like a hot potato. And only old heads will get that joke.
What was Latoya's hit? Rock, what was Latoya's one hit?
I was going to say Centipede, but
that was Rebe. Rebe had Centipede, and Centipede is Kamal's jam. That's her jam. She loves.
That is my jam. That's my jam.
She effing loves that damn song.
I am the only person on the planet that bought the 45, and I still got it.
I bought the long playing single. But
for the young ones out there, a 45 is an album. It's made out of vinyl, and you put it on this machine that makes it go in a circle. And the 45 was the speed, and they were smaller.
Yeah.
If you don't know what a record player is, it's a device that spins stuff, and it has a little needle you put on so you can play the sound.
And you had to carry them from place to place if you wanted to listen to them somewhere outside of your house. They didn't fit, like you couldn't put it in your pocket.
As my daughter called them, Mommy, I want to listen to those big black CDs.
Yeah. Look, the things I know about Kamal, some of them will stay hidden forever for our friendship to continue. But one thing I do know is Centipede is her jam. Her jam. Followed by Grace Jones, Pull Up to the Bumper.
Don't. I knew that was coming.
Right. Grace Jones, pull up to the bumper. You know what that song's about, right?
Is what I said it's about.
What is that song about? What is the meaning of that song, the lyrics in that song?
Pull up to her back door.
And I believe there's a line that says,
In your long black limousine.
right.
Yeah.
And pull it in between.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I don't want to judge people. But some people thought but there's a thought out there. There's a community of people out there that believe that song's about driving around New York City in a rented limousine and looking at sights in New York.
I'm gonna tell you what it's about. She's going out for it. She's a nice evening out of the town, and she's driving to New York in her big black limousine, and she sees this handsome man walking, hoofing it. And she's like, hey, I have this nice car. I'm going out. Come on over. Pull on over the bumper. Come on, get in the car. And we'll go out to the club together. That's what that song means.
She's left-handed, ain't she? She's left-handed. Left-handed people don't think the same as others.
No, because left-handed people are in their right mind, their right brain. So.
And I'm not going to tell you what I meant Little Red Corvette was about.
She got you. She got you. Come on, you got to give it to us. Come on.
Okay. So Little Red Corvette is about this girl, probably white. She's really rich, and she lives in a big property, and she has horses. That's why I think she's white and rich. And she's a little fast.
Because the car goes fast.
She likes Greek mythology because she keeps Trojans in her pocket.
What in her pocket?
Trojans. Because the guy gets in the car and she drives him to the place where her horses run free.
Her stable.
Of horses.
Where she has all her horses.
Yes.
She's an equestrian.
And she keeps a lot of horses in her pocket. Some of these horses have been ridden, and those are Trojan horses. They have been ridden. Some of them are used.
Well, that's her copy of Helen of Troy. That's her copy of Helen of Troy that she reads all the time and she keeps it in her pocket. Helen of Troy and the Trojan story.
She had a hell of an imagination.
She was sheltered as a child.
I see.
Come feel my big guitar.
Everything. I Disney-fy everything. That's just how my brain works. I just think of the most wholesome stuff.
Come feel my big guitar is actually in her mind about a musical instrument.
It's not.
I see how y'all work so well together, Yale.
I'm just trying to help people.
But the guitars are big. I mean, they're not huge. Why would I think it's anything but a guitar?
Yale, could you give us the lyrics to D-Train?
That's what I know. He's a pedophile.
Wait a minute. I don't think we talked about
that guy D-Train, that singer D-Train who's talking about he don't care what her parents say and how young she is, he still loves her.
No. I know a person who literally thought the song lyric was bust a nut in a towel and shouted out loud, "You're the one for me." This person came to my 60th birthday party and I had Rock play that song in their honor. And once you hear it,
you can't hear it no more.
That's all you
can. Because I know that song and I'm like, it's not busting out in a towel. Shout out loud, it's a bust of me. It can't be. But now I can't unhear it.
Now you can
hear it.
I know one.
You
I
would,
know one of his songs, he's being a pedophile. I know that. I caught that.
oh, there are a lot of pedophile songs. We used to all be in the club singing Rick James, She's Only 17. Proudly singing, She's Only 17. But she was sexy. Right? But if you want to come forward, like you can understand Kamal's significantly younger than me. I think she's 29 again this year.
For the fourth time.
Or 12th. I think the first president
Whatever.
she voted for was Barack Obama. But
Twice.
Kamal did not understand the Robin Thicke song, What Rhymes with Hug Me.
Wait, which Robin Thicke song?
Remember? Because you asked me, well, wait a minute, what rhymes with Hug Me? And he says the song, sings the lyric, you want to hug me? What rhymes with hug me?
And it has a tad bit more letters than hug me.
He's not really trying to hug her.
Yeah, he's trying to hug her.
her.
He's trying to hug her brains out. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But wait.
Yeah, here we go.
No, seriously?
Uh-huh.
When does hug mean that?
Well,
it has to be blonde. It has to be blonde.
It can be at times. She dyed her hair blonde one day, posted a picture on Facebook, and I just didn't know who she was. I actually posted the meme from Color Purple. Hoppo, who this woman?
Who this woman?
But Kamal was raised in a convent by Virginist nuns, and she only watched Disney movies until she was 17 years old. And
18.
I'm sorry, 18. And she never drinks anything other than milk.
Well, that's true.
Wait a minute. There was a pink Moscato situation, if I remember correctly.
Yes, there was pink Moscato and pineapple Moscato. And I have breaking news. 2 years ago for my birthday, I went to Dallas and I had my first mixed drinks.
I can't.
And they're good.
I can't.
They're really good. I like brown liquor. Tequila makes me sick. Like in the bathroom all night sick. So I can't mess with tequila.
Well, look, I don't want to hurt you. I just want you.
Man.
I want you to understand that you are not alone on that issue with tequila. You're not by yourself.
It was like I had the flu. Both ends were going. I was like, okay, that's this worm. I'm never ever drinking tequila again.
If it was your first, if it was your first hangover, I know you were wondering, well, what's causing this? It can't be because I was drinking.
Shoot. No, I knew what the hangover was. It was that all night in the bathroom I wasn't expecting. So I don't do margaritas. I don't do tequila anymore. But brown liquor, that's my friend. And the fruit drinks are so good. I celebrated my birthday for 2 weeks.
So, little known history fact, again, because history's my deal. Cocktails were created during Prohibition because the rot gut bathtub made gin and homemade moonshine alcohol tasted so bad that the speakeasy type bars had to come up with a way to make the drinks taste good so people would buy them. So they started creating cocktails. I believe the very first cocktail was called a Manhattan because it was it was made in New York City, in Manhattan. But before then, people just drank their booze straight.
It worked.
Yeah. It'll get you in trouble. It gets you in trouble.
Because I was asked, which one do you want? And I said, all of them.
Wait a minute. When you said that, did you say, wait a minute, let me pull up to the bumper in my big black limousine first?
Shut up.
And don't the lyric go pull up to my bumper with your big black limousine?
Yes, that's the lyric. That's the lyric exactly.
She was driving a big limousine. It was the one with 6 doors. What do you want?
When she first
that bumper is pretty big on that limousine.
When she first told me this, right, I knew she was lying to me. Like, you come on now, come on. She's deadly serious.
He said, wow.
I had to convince her.
He didn't think I was serious. I was very serious.
Well, that before after the pink Moscato.
This was way before the pink Moscato. Like I had to make her listen to the lyrics, and we walked and talked through it.
Presidential election.
And then she was gobsmacked once she realized. She was like, wait, no. Like, yeah. It's Grace. It's Grace.
I still rebuke it.
It's Grace.
Still rebuke it.
She played Strange in the movie Boomerang, and that was not acting. That's who she really is. That's who Grace really was and is to this day. I had like 3 Grace Jones albums. I would get in these moods when I was a younger me and sit in my room and drink and listen to Grace Jones records. And I wanted to name my first dog Grace, but my dog wouldn't let me. My wife wouldn't let me. She'd be like, no, we can't name him. It's a male dog. How you gonna name him Grace? And I would say, because Grace is that's my dude.
Oh, so you're not calling your first wife your dog?
No, that was a slip. That was actual slip. She's a great lady, but she wasn't my dog, yo. But anyway.
Well, I know she was strong, David. That was written for her. I mean, Della Reese was cussing in Harlem Nights. Just because they play a risque role doesn't mean that they're risque in every other medium.
She must have known who Della Reese is, dude.
Right. She thinks Della Reese is the same woman that was on
Saved by Angel.
Right. Touch
by Angel.
Which we used to call Touched by an Uncle.
Wasn't always saved by an angel, but she always wasn't what's her name?
She was
Harlem Nights.
Della. Her name was Della in the movie. In Harlem Nights. Her character's name was Della. But no, it was Della.
It was Vera.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It was Vera.
I'm positive.
I thought it was Della because I remember her saying, I'm an honest hoe and all my hoes is honest.
Vera, just drink the orange so you can shut the fuck up. It was Vera.
My God. And look, in sidebar, I just saw something yesterday that said that movie didn't make a lot of money. It was considered a flop. It got like a very low, like it got a Razzie Award from what is it?
That's inaccurate.
I find
it made a lot of money.
It did.
I don't know if it made it. It made a lot of money. I remember that.
It may not have been.
It was Pam. I remember that. But, I mean, they do that often with us in our movies, right?
Yes. Because they were expecting it to be something it never was going to be.
Now, was it a blockbuster? No. But it made its money back. It covered its cost. And then some, but it definitely wasn't a blockbuster.
There are several movies that I will stop whatever I'm doing. If I'm flipping through channels and I see it, I'll stop and watch no matter where it is. Harlem Nights is clearly one of those movies. No matter what, I will stop and watch and crack up.
You want to throw garbage cans on people.
Oh,
you didn't shut off my pizza.
And my favorite.
Now, you know what I watched for the first time since it came out? Boomerang. And I was like, I can't show this to my kids. My millennials, my Gen Zs,
Marcus, darling.
They don't get triggered.
Marcus, darling. Can the room get any darker?
I don't have any.
Y'all remember Chris Rock is in that movie?
Yeah.
Chris Rock is in that movie.
David Allen Greer.
But Chris Rock was like a nobody. Like it was a cameo, a couple scene cameo, because he hadn't ascended at all yet. Oh
yeah, I wouldn't call it a cameo because nobody knew who he was. I was almost a bit player, but he was the mailroom guy.
Right. Whew. Man. But my favorite scene, my favorite line from Harlem Nights, there's a lot of them, but nothing can touch. Nothing for me is funnier than somebody fitting to get knocked the fuck out. If you know what I mean. And Richard looks at him and says, I didn't at first, but I do now. Oh my God. I'm going to watch that tonight as I go to sleep. Oh my God.
Or, hey baby, this daddy, put mommy on the phone. Yeah, baby, this Richie. I ain't home.
Have a good life.
I got a girl so good you can throw a pussy in the air and turn the sunshine.
And then Red looks up. We've all look, every man I know have had that look about a certain woman, whether they've had her or not. They had a look. Rock seen me had that look a couple times. All right, look, I got 15 minutes to get on my soapbox, and Kamal, I need to hear your opinion on this. There is a group of uppity ass Negroes, right? Speaking of comedies, speaking of black movies, uppity ass Negroes who do not think that Kamala Harris is qualified to represent black people and run for president because she's not really black.
Have y'all told Jamaicans they ain't black? I just want to know.
The
Jamaicans aren't black, what are they?
The shit is beyond all aspects of reasoning to me. It just I can't even get my words out.
What those mean is she's not, they're trying to say she's not African American is what they're trying to say. Man, you know what? I'm going to tell you what, when the police pull her over and have her on the hood of a car, she's black, right?
What is the definition of someone that's black? How much percentage blood does a person have to have in America to be considered black? One drop. 1/8 of a percent of black blood in your family makes you black. And your lineage makes you black. When white people look at her,
living a black existence since she was born.
She went to Howard University. She pledged AKA.
Howard.
She has been representing black people for decades. Now all of a sudden she ain't black. It's the same dumb shit they were saying in 2008 and 2007 about Barack Obama.
Look. And that's what Trump said today. He was like, because they asked him what the DIY hire is. And he tried to say, well, he's known her for a long time. And he knew her. She used to be an Indian. And then all of a sudden, when it was advantageous, he literally said she turned black.
Lord Jesus.
He literally said she turned black. I look at my TV. And that's the same message. These uppity, uneducated, uninformed Negroes were saying, oh, she just turned black when it was advantageous for her, so she could get elected. Man,
this
that
shit
girl was in Howard in the 80s.
this
You better
shit
leave me alone.
this is the shit that really pisses me off, because they don't recognize the damage those types of things say, what kind of damage that does. You can't see, I got sob. I don't want to say things like these fucking retards, but these fucking retards don't understand that no matter what your complexion is, if you're black, you're black. White people across the world look at us and say black, and immediately say we're not good enough. Immediately not say we don't qualify to be on their level. And now we have black people who are saying she ain't black because both her parents aren't black.
And it smacks up and perpetuates the interracism that we have in our community between, light-skinned people, dark-skinned people, mixed people. You're not black enough. You're too black. You're not black enough. Your hand is too dark in this paper bag to get in this party. You know what? We need to just stop it. Just stop it.
Because I guarantee you the outside people look at all of us in the same color. They may recognize that we are different complexion, but they'll tell you in a minute. And up until recently, I used to hear all black people look alike, right? We've heard that for decades. All black people look alike, right? But no matter what.
It's very triggering. It's very triggering for me because of how I talk. You sound like a white girl. You want to be white. You sound white. I'm like, no, I sound like I know how to pick up an English book. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
No, my parents made sure that I spoke proper English so I could code switch so I could make it in corporate America. I can't go into corporate America talking like I'm talking now, talking like I talk at home. I got to code switch.
Yeah, same thing with me. I was told for years in school, oh, you think you special because you talk different. I had two aunts, and I say aunt, I don't say aunt. I had two aunts who were teachers who made sure I pronounced my words correctly.
You know what? I don't say aunt either, and I make the kids call me auntie because I'm like, I'm not an insect.
Right, there it is. There it is. Now I'll switch up because I love Mayberry, the Andy Griffith Show, and it's Aunt B, but it's aunt, like it's aunt. It's aunt. It's on. I don't flaunt my superiority in front of people. I flaunt it. So if I can flaunt my superiority, then I have an aunt, not an aunt. But it pisses me off.
I don't say auntie either.
Right. You say auntie.
Not auntie. It's auntie. Even though everybody else call her auntie, I always call her auntie.
But it just pisses me off because there's this section of people who have bought into the bullshit and get up on their high horse about her heritage. And look, I had a thing. I went in on the regional director for 100 Black Men 4 years ago when he made a post, and I don't really know this guy other than associations. He made a post about Kamala can't be Asian because her father was Black and her mother was from India. And does
he not know that Indians are part of the Asian diaspora?
Has no clue. So who do you know that put you in that role? Right? And then people say, well, she's not qualified. The same people who say she's not qualified can't spell half of the degrees that she has, half of the education that she has, half of the experience that she has.
So she's a lawyer, a former district attorney, a former attorney general, and a former senator. And she's less qualified than the orange guy? Okay. But
even bump that, seriously, bump that. How can you tell me somebody's not qualified when you're not even qualified to see their qualifications yourself? How can you bring that shit up out your mouth?
Well, he said today that she didn't even pass the bar exam. So here we go with
Here we go, this bullshit again.
They did to Barack.
Yeah, yeah. So what? They just handed her law degree and said you didn't pass the bar, so you can still be a prosecutor.
He's such a dumbass.
But
and going back to what you were saying, it also, when we say stupid shit like that, it gets white people feel like they have permission to parrot that.
Yeah.
So, that's what the black folks say. I mean, the blacks.
The blacks. But even worse than that for me is I don't want to say they secretly, and again, nobody's monolithic. No group is monolithic. When I say the white people or white people, I'm not talking about every single white person. I'm not talking about even a segment of a segment. I'm talking about certain people will say, yeah, see,
the MAGA crowd.
It's working. Their own people don't support her, so she ain't legit.
But you know what? Surprise, surprise. They had, I want to say he said 200,000. I think it was 200,000 white dudes on a call.
Yes.
One night, and 100,000 the next for Kamala, and not all of them were Democrats.
Right.
This is what I keep saying. There are a bunch of never Trumpers who could not stomach voting for Biden, but they're getting behind Kamala.
And there are a lot of never Trumpers who succumbed or were seduced by whatever he has to get them, like a J.D. Vance, who will follow him to the pits of hell. But there are some real legit never Trumpers who may have leaned toward Biden or may have decided I'm not voting because I don't like either choice. And now they're on board for Kamala. I personally don't understand why you would not vote for Joe if you thought his age was a problem, but you're enthusiastic for Kamala, who would have been his vice president had he been reelected and would have become president anyway had he not been able to fulfill his term for whatever circumstances those would be. But that being said,
I mean, she's energized. She's biggest fundraising in one day in history, biggest volunteership sign-ups in history. So, whatever the reason may be, she done flipped the game, and they can keep sleeping on her if they want to, and they can start all that shit they started when she was running for vice president, that she's a homeworker and a whore, and apparently she didn't pass the bar, and she's really not black. They can start all that shit if they want to, but we're not fooled by that. And what they keep doing, and they're doing it to their peril, they're underestimating black women, period. The last two election cycles, so 2020 and 2022, black women saved this country, especially in 2020. We saved this country. Don't play with it.
Yes, you did. And look, there's no question in my mind that they are doubling their efforts to come for her because they're afraid of her. And I don't mean like they think she can do them harm, but they see the enthusiasm. There's a person that's a friend of Rock's and listens to some of his shows, especially one of his shows, who had the nerve to come on my post on Facebook and make a comment that she's not legit because she was put up to be president despite what the people wanted. Now, this is a Republican talking about Democrats. If the people didn't want her, the leadership of the party and the supporters of the party and the down ballot people in the party and us regular old voters would not be so enthusiastic. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Absolutely.
I don't want to mention any names. I'm not going to mention his name, but yeah, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Spill the tea.
What the fuck are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about, so you're just spitting out the same bullshit that you're taking in from Fox News and AON and News America. If
Look, you know what I say? Just go ahead, keep thinking that. Just keep thinking that.
And then
do you, boo?
And I'm gonna finish with this because this is what again. There are people who also regurgitating that same bullshit from 2020 about her having problems with black men because she put a lot of black men in jail as a prosecutor.
I get so tired of having to explain to them the California law. Being a former Californian myself, look, y'all. She enforces the law, not creates the law.
Amen.
And then they come back, well, she didn't enforce the no hate law. Okay, so what do you gain by preventing gay people from marrying versus letting criminals out of jail, even if their 3 strikes was bogus, right? You can't let them all out. There were people who got 3 strikes for stealing a loaf of bread. Literally, that woman didn't need to be in jail. That wasn't on Kamala's watch. The problem wasn't her; it was the California legislature. They needed to change the law.
And how about
Ronald Reagan's bullshit? And what's his face? God, I forget who the governor. It wasn't Jerry Brown. It was somebody else, and it wasn't Ronald Reagan. That was after Ronald Reagan. But at any rate, it was in the 80s, and that was their solution for crime. 3 strikes and you're out, no matter what that 3rd strike is. So yes, there's a lot of people with low-level drug crime. Well, when she was Attorney General, we weren't doing, the legalization of marijuana and release everybody program. We weren't doing that.
And how about the program she put in place for people, the intervention program she put in place for people who were locked up for low amounts of drugs, and put them in programs that if they successfully completed the programs, they had their records expunged or their sentences reduced. For minorities getting caught up in the system. They don't know about that, so they don't want to talk about it. And again,
these people didn't want to enforce the law at all.
Again, these are black people.
Yeah, so she decided to not enforce the Proposition 8. I get it. But again, I go back to what harm does it cause society to marry gay people versus what harm does it cause to society to let some people out that should be in there.
I will say this, and there's somebody that's on my friends list who will probably drop off my friends list, and I will not give a rat's ass when he drops. But I had to tell him today, what are you afraid of from a gay or transgendered person? What about someone loving somebody else that looks like them or wanting to be happy in the skin they're in? What about that is a threat to you? Why do you give a shit?
Exactly, because I tell you what, I've always said I'm too pretty for prison, but if I find myself in prison at 10 toes down full of business, you know me, I don't care.
If
I will be gay, for my stay.
Hey, look, if Proposition 2020, Project 2025 comes into fruition, we're gonna be in jail together because there's a lot of files on my computer that will get me locked straight the hell up.
Hell, this podcast will get us lost straight up. All they gotta do is look at our archives. We both going down clean.
Hey, and look, I got some Grace Jones songs and videos that'll get me locked up.
I got Twitter posts that'll get me locked up.
Because I know what pull up to the bumper means. And when I do it, I'm going to video it. And I'm going to jail.
You know what? Keep your limousine away from my bumper.
All I know is this.
Corvette.
A little red Corvette.
And the Corvette and your horses. Keep them over there.
Yeah, well, when you grab my centipede.
You gonna start seeing D-Train?
I'm going to bust a nut on a towel.
Oh God, yeah, and that song is in my playlist.
You're the one for me. Listen to it. Listen to it. You'll never be able to hear the real lyric ever again.
We were getting texts talking about that was their jam. She was like, that ain't the real lyrics.
I don't even know what the lyrics are anymore since you said that.
I don't know it either. Like, I know it, but I can't think it. All I can hear is bust a nut on the towel.
Yeah. But isn't it something on the cloud?
Yeah. Busting out on a cloud, I think, maybe. I don't know. All I hear is bust a nut on a towel. Thank you, Arwen, for changing my life. I thought it was bad because we used to sing Last Night a BJ Saved My Life.
Wait, what?
Kamal, please don't ask him to repeat it.
Last Night a BJ Saved My Life from a broken heart.
Yeah, a BJ? It's BJ. I know that.
Wait a minute. And what about Elton John's song?
Don't play with me. What song?
You know, the one he let Michael Jackson re-record. Don't let your sun go down on me.
And I have the lyrics for D-Train.
All right, what are the real lyrics for D-Train?
The real lyrics for D-Train is busting up on a cloud, shout out loud, you're the one for me.
Even as you said it and read it, I hear bust a nut on a towel. I still see bust a nut on a towel. And then I picture Forrest Gump in the room with Jenny.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
Oh my God. Okay.
So I finally found out what that song from Janet is. You're smooth and shiny, feels so good against my lips, sugar. Yeah, that's not what I thought it was.
Okay, do tell. Come on, Kamal, don't chicken out now.
Maybe a lollipop or something. I have no idea.
Oh my God. And make no mistake, there's songs out there. There are songs out there that say it what they're saying, right? Before what's out here now, when you had what is the song? Oh my God, I can hear it, but I can't remember the name, the title of the song now. Juicy Fruit.
Oh, and to me.
Yeah, and to me. The lyric is right there. I'll be your lollipop. You can lick me everywhere. That's.
So she wasn't talking about chewing gum?
No. No.
She wasn't?
The little yellow pack of gum is not what she was talking
No,
about.
she wasn't talking about the juicy fruit. No.
Yeah, she was talking about that in like dum-dums.
And I'm look.
I did also find out Don't Stop the Music. That's really not about clubbing all night.
Wait, what?
Don't Stop the Music by Renee and Angela.
Yeah.
That's not about clubbing all night.
What's it about?
I Want to Rock You All Night Long.
Yes, that's about dancing. The Rock. There was a song called The Rock. People, that was white people's introduction to disco. They could do The Rock. That was a whole song, a whole dance. The Rock. They just swayed back and forth.
Well, that's what I thought, but somebody told me no.
They lied to you.
Oh, damn. I was right for once.
Yeah. And look, I'm going to get out of here, but I'm going to be honest with you straight up. The songs that are out here now literally say worse than what we thought these lyrics meant. Like they just tell you.
The lyrics were subliminal years ago.
Yeah, and they were, and they went up to the line without crossing the line, but you had to take that last step yourself. Now they got people out there telling you straight up, women singing songs straight up. But I don't give a damn what Megan Thee Stallion says. I'm buying whatever she's selling. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what she has to say.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
I got my kids pink and my booty hole is brown.
I don't know what song that's from. I couldn't tell you a single word in a single lyric in a single record she ever made. But whatever, if she needs my money, Megan Thee Stallion can get it straight up.
And I also got I clearly understood why. That one was clear to me.
The WAP, right? That was the dance too.
No.
Megan and Cardi B.
Yeah.
Do the WAP. Do the WAP. It was a dance.
No.
It was like the Pee Wee Herman.
W-O-P. This is W-A-P.
W-A-P.
Well, I mean, as we evolve as a people, we spell things differently. Tomato.
Now, what I didn't get was the radio edit. But once I heard the explicit one, I was like, oh, that's what they mean? Okay, got it.
I'm mortified, America. I have no idea what these two people are talking about.
My husband knew what it meant.
Whose husband?
Coleman. They didn't take him for long to figure it out.
Yeah, being done. He knows exactly what WAP is.
I don't give a damn what it means if Megan is dancing on stage, singing it. I'm watching it.
Yeah, I think she is beautiful.
Megan or Boing Boing?
Don't care. Her name could be the Shoe Monkey.
I'm asking which one you picking, Megan or Boing Boing?
Who's Boing Boing?
Beyonce.
Oh, I'm taking Megan.
I'm the queen. A queen.
I'm taking Megan all day. And I loved Queen Bee. I love her. But I'm taking Megan Thee Stallion because I have high aspirations and low morals. Plus her husband was in them streets for real, yo. And yeah, I'm gonna take my chances with the girl who got shot in the foot. All right, look, we're way past time. Kamal, thank you for sacrificing some time from the bunker. You got to get back before Dick Cheney.
I need to my government. I can't be incognito if you are putting my very unique name out there.
Kamala Harris.
Thank you.
See, America needs to know that when I was first introduced to Kamal, it was an email, and I thought it was a dude reaching out to me.
That's true. That's true.
Because the person the intermediary, the reason that Kamal reached out to me was I was doing business with, what was his name? Ukla? Akola. So
a
Colo. So if I'm doing business with a Colo is a dude, and then I get an email from Kamal, I'm thinking, yes, some Muslim guys, either they're made Muslim, their real names were John and Jim, and they switched over, or they're from some country where these are normal. And then I get this, and I'm like, and then she called me right after I got the email, and I'm like, damn, man, you got a high ass voice.
And he was smitten, and we've been besties ever since.
Ever since. And that was
That was that.
and that was in 2007, and I've yet to share the same air with this woman in person.
Wow.
We've never met in person.
Wow.
Yeah, we almost met in person this weekend, right?
Yeah. Supposed to be in North Carolina, but my mom had a stroke. And she's doing good.
Will you stop?
What you got going on over there? You busting a nut on the towel with somebody? What is happening?
Pulling up to somebody.
He's pulling up to somebody's bumper.
No, I'm talking to you. Stop giving out my details.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, you did just say, now we don't know. We all know where the bunker is.
Well, we don't know what state.
You just told.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just told it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I didn't know I said Georgia. But we're supposed to meet. My mom had a stroke. Her prognosis is not exactly what we were expecting, but it's not as bad as it could be. But I know this much. Before 2025 gets halfway through, I'm going to be able to put my hands on Kamal's neck. I mean, embrace her and
Look, don't threaten me with a good time. Don't threaten me with a good time.
hopefully hug her, because you know what rhymes with hug me, right?
Yeah. She don't.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it, because you already told me what hug really means. You better be quiet.
I'm gonna show up with a bottle of pink Moscato and some tequila, and we're gonna have a conversation.
No brown.
Oh, yeah, that brown liquor.
Look, I tell you what, you can start with tequila if you want to. It'll be a night you never forget.
Or remember. I'll never forget that night I don't remember. That's how come I have a son now.
You'll be in the bathroom helping me clean up shit.
See, this is where my chivalry. This is where you have to go. Wait a minute. I thought we was friends. This Negro went to the store an hour ago for a mop.
You don't bring tequila, you deal with the consequences.
Well, anyway.
I'm to drink anyway. I'm only 20.
Right. Again. So regardless of where you are or where you end up, I expect to see your ass in New Orleans next year for the Essence, so we can finally hang out and I can show you what real heat is all about.
I might be there.
I'll know you from your blonde wig.
Why would I go to New Orleans if you could just drive down to Georgia?
Because New Orleans is more fun than Georgia.
But I'm in Georgia. That trumps everything.
Why do you got to use Trump?
Well, you got to keep putting out my government.
Because I'm stupid. I'm stupid and I'm tired. You know, you've known me longer than I've been wearing glasses. I'm sitting here now rubbing my eyes. You can't see because you're on your phone, but I'm sitting here rubbing my eyes because my glasses made my face tired. And my grandparents used to say that. I was like, damn, they old. Glasses don't weigh anything. And glasses now weigh a hell of a lot less than the ones my grandparents wore, and my face is tired. So you people who wear glasses all the time and can count the rivets on the Hubble telescope, I salute you. But
I knew you before gray hair and the arthritis.
it's not arthritis. It's a pulled. It's a pinched nerve.
Oh, that's what they call it now?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead, pull it to the bumper.
Next week, I'll tell you about that time I caught a Charlie horse pulling up to the bumper. It made me almost bust a nut on a towel. Mr. DJ.
Yeah.
All right. I'm out.
Bye, Kamala.
You've had enough of me.
Can there really ever be enough of you?
No, never.
And as Bootsy would say, why not take all of me? And we know what that meant.
No.
Yeah.
He didn't mean like his body and soul.
Yes.
His heart.
His one organ.
I need to stop because you're ruining my playlist. You're ruining my playlist.
Not for real, but for play list. Yeah. Why not take all of me? Bootzilla, baby.
No, that's not. He meant his heart and his soul and everything.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
Man,
Yeah.
you're hurting my buzz.
Yeah. So, Mr.
Yeah.
DJ, spark it up, man. Play us out.
The night circle of sanity, ready to show.
What you got? What you got? What you got?
This is state of emergency.
The night circle of sanity, ready to show. The night circle of sanity, ready.
What you got, little mama? Show me what you got, baby. Show me what you got, shawty. Show me what you got, baby. Hands up and wave.
The night circle of sanity, ready.
You want answers? You want answers? You want answers? You want answers? I want the truth. Want the truth. Want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Handle the truth. Handle the truth.
The night circle of sanity, ready to show.